Welcome back to the She Drives podcast, a special episode today because we're behind the wheel with racing driver Hanna Celsie.
Hiya,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I think it has to be one of the coolest things ever to be introduced as a racing driver.
Definitely. Like, if you asked me like 5 years ago, oh, where do you see yourself? I would have probably been like, oh, yeah, still in the same job. But no, I get to say I'm a racing driver. So it's definitely a childhood dream come true.
Yeah, that it's insane, like, but I love it. We're so here for it. So talking about that childhood dream, where did that come from? Where did your love for motorsport start?
So my love of motorsport actually came from my love of cars. So my dad's a mechanic. And as soon as I could walk, it was pretty much, you're going to come help me. I was like, yeah, okay, happy little talk going up with him, working on cars, being around cars. Obviously, with media and everything, Fast and Furious came out, Need for Speed Underground came out. So all these kind of games, movies, TV shows, they were all kind of pinpointed towards cars. And that kind of sparked it up even more for me. And I was like, I really would love to do that. But obviously, when I was growing up, I didn't have any connections in motorsport other than watching F1 on the TV. So it was kind of like, oh, maybe I can't do this. And people around me were kind of like, that's for boys. Like, you can't be a race car driver. There's no girls racing on the TV, is there? And I was like, well, yeah, you kind of have a point. So I stuck to working on cars and loving cars once I got my license and everything like that. But now I'm actually doing it and I'm proving everybody wrong.
That's the way that it needs to be. So you would say that it was your dad that kind of got you into it, but you pushed yourself even more to try and find out more about the motorsport side of things.
Yeah, it was actually COVID when I started. I got an ad on Instagram for a company in the UK that was looking for girls that like cars, don't have experience in motorsport, but would try it. So I applied to that, realized, hang on, this is where I belong. When I went the very first time I was ever on track, I'll never forget it. It was Cadwell Park. And I fell in love. I was like, this is where I need to be. And I had Graham, who was the CEO, in the passenger seat, and he's like, "Are you singing what you're doing?" And I was like, "Turn to the left, right." And I was singing along, and he was like, "Are you actually singing?" And I was like, "Yeah." Why? And he's like, "You're the only one I know who sings when they drive, but they're singing their directions." So like, I would sing that I'm braking or accelerating or turning, and I still do that to this day, but it's kind of mixed between actual songs and my directions. But I still do that.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe everyone needs to start doing that.
I think everybody should sing when they drive. They seem a lot
Definitely.
happier.
Exactly. Whenever you first got into motorsport, were there any challenges? Obviously, going through COVID, I'd say that was really difficult.
Definitely, especially because they were based in the UK, so COVID was just over, so this was probably the start of 2021, I think. I had flown over and did my first track day, and I was with my dad. I was like, "Oh, what you think?" And he was like, we'll see when we get home." I was like, "Oh, okay." And he realized that the passion was just there because I was always talking about it. I was always trying to learn more about it. Um, Constantly doing track days then going forward and trying to get more involved, but not really knowing where to go. I went to Mondello Park and I got involved with some of the people that were doing the track days there. I was like, look, how do I start doing this? Oh, apply through Motorsport Ireland, get your driver's license, your competition license, and then just get out on track. I was like, grand, cool, that doesn't sound too bad. I can do that. Um, and it was all right once I got my competition license. I did the Fiesta Z-Tex in Mondello for a year, which was great experience. And then obviously I was still doing stuff in the UK, so my time was kind of split. But the only regret I have is not starting sooner.
Hmm.
But other than that, anybody that comes up to me like, oh, how can I get into racing? I'm literally just ask anybody. Go onto Motorsport Ireland, find your club, just go for it. Don't even think about it twice.
Yeah, I mean that's it's good advice. I suppose you don't. It's one of those things where you're constantly thinking, how on earth did I get into this? But sometimes it is just like you just need to ask someone just a bit for direction.
Exactly, yeah. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know until you ask. So
Yeah.
once I started asking the questions, all the pieces came together and I kind of started figuring it out. But it all started with one question. So that's literally, if I just asked it like a little bit sooner, but everything happens for a reason. So
Exactly, and now it's just blossoming.
indeed,
So
indeed.
tell me a little bit about what you're getting up to now, about your journey so far.
So I was with racing with Formula Woman. I got to race in the Jaguar Project 8 for a sprint race. And more recently, last December, I was part of the first ever Formula Woman Championship qualifiers. I was one of only 30 girls out of 50 to qualify. So
That's
flying the flag for
incredible.
Ireland was absolutely amazing. And the fact that it was a Dubai track was even, oh my God, the skyline at that racetrack. Um, Speechless. um, and then last May, I was in Abu Dhabi and I got to go testing in a radical for racing women. And I got to do the As Marina circuit. So, I mean, I never even thought that was on my bucket list until I was there. And I was like, I'm actually testing on the As Marina circuit. Like,
Yeah.
it's something you don't think is possible until it's in front of you.
Hmm.
Um, Going forward, there's a race coming up in September in the UK. So I'll be in the Radicals once again, but it'll be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be televised.
Exciting stuff. Love that.
Yeah, so that's with racing women, and we're doing the Radical Championship in the UK.
Very good. So, what was you were talking a wee bit about Formula Women?
Mhm.
What was the selection process like for that? Was it competitive?
Super competitive. I think originally to qualify for your country in the first place, I think there was over 1,000 applicants, like globally, and that
Hmm.
was whittled down to 50. So the fact that it took a lot of hard work and a lot of competition, but I think my passion and my perseverance is what got me through. And then the fact that I even got to be one of the 30 something girls to qualify out of the big number of about 1,000 women was just something that I never thought possible because I didn't think that was something I could do in the first place. And I'll never forget when we were getting our medals at the end, seeing my mom and my dad in the crowd, and like my mom was trying so hard not to cry. And then when they were like, oh, you can go hug your families and all, she just burst into tears. I burst into tears. And my dad was just like, I'm not crying. But it was just one of those moments that's just ingrained in the back of your head. And I don't think I've ever seen my parents so proud of me before. Knowing that I
Oh,
worked so hard day and night, blood, sweat, and tears to just all come to this one moment. And
that's-
it was just, it's one of those things I'll never forget.
do you think that's the most rewarding thing about that so far? Yeah.
Definitely, because I seen like going from no track experience whatsoever to being able to say I represented my country in Dubai in an all-female race and still qualified quite highly. And I was like newspapers and radios reaching out to me. They're like, "Oh, you're the Lucan racing driver," and I was like, "Do I know you?" Like it's one of those moments where I'm like, you post on your personal socials, but you don't really realize how many people actually have their eyes on you until you're like someone approaches you and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you on Instagram or on Facebook," and you're like, "Really?" That gets somewhere.
So, talking a bit about Dubai, what was that atmosphere like before the race and afterwards?
Before was so stressful. I did testing beforehand and I was like really trying to nail down my race online and pushing myself to try because the way the layout was of the qualifying was you had an in lap, a timed lap, and your out lap. So you had one lap to make sure you get the best time. But we had three different slots of the day. So you technically had three laps altogether. But you had to make sure they were perfect, brilliant to be able to get where you need to get. And it was the testing was just so stressful because I was going around and around and I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like there's just something that's not adding up to me and I couldn't figure it out and I was stressing and stressing and stressing. And then on the day I seen my parents were up in the hospitality suite and there was loads of guests and I was like, you know what? I don't think there's a point in stressing out because I'm just gonna end up being too much in my own head and I'll forget to enjoy it. So I just went out, enjoyed it, found my time. I think I was faster than my previous day testing. And all the only difference was that I enjoyed it and I wasn't stressing myself out.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's the main thing. Like, I feel like no matter what you're doing, you get so lost in trying to make it right that you just have to kind of sit back and think, I just need to enjoy this now, because when am I ever going to get to do something like this in this moment in time ever again?
Exactly, yeah. It's definitely one of those once in a lifetime moments where you need to live the moment, not just record it. So I didn't really have my phone on me much that day anyway, but
Mhm.
it was just actually living and breathing the moment was just breathtaking in a way. But it's if the sooner I get to do it again, the happier I'll be. But we'll see what happens.
What kind of preparation do you need to do for something like that, like going to Dubai to race?
You obviously need to know the track, so obviously it's expensive to get there, but I did go over once or twice for physical training before on the track. But you need to make sure your fitness is in within your goal. You're eating properly, you're sleeping properly. You know, you need to be able to put full focus on this one goal. Um, Luckily enough, I knew the cars kind of well enough from racing in the UK, and the Radicals are doing training in the UK with the Radicals, so I kind of knew where my barriers were. It was just memorizing the track and being able to just push, push, push. But mentally, you really need to be like in the zone, because the smallest like disappointment, or like if you have anxiety or a frustration about it, it can throw you off so bad. Like you really need to have a winner's mindset when you get into the car, and you need to forget about, like, obviously motorsport is very dangerous, but when you're in that car, you kind of have to push that to the back of your head, because if you start overthinking, hang on, I'm getting a bit close to the wall, I need to brake a bit harder, you could throw off the balance of the car. So it's really a matter of putting your instincts not necessarily on the back burner, but trusting your gut that your training is going to keep you flowing properly. Because when you're driving on the road, obviously your instincts are brake well in advance, you know, slow speeds and everything like that. Whereas on the racetrack, you need to keep your speed up. You need to keep your momentum up. So it literally goes against everything you're taught in your driver's test. Everything.
Well, at least you're on a racetrack.
6 point
um,
harness, fireproof suit, and a helmet. You're grand.
oh, love that. What kind of speeds are you reaching?
I'd have to double check the onboards, but I think it was around 170 kilometers, maybe more.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'd have to double check the onboards, because when I'm driving, it's just a quick glance and good luck. But yeah, they're quite fast. The
Yeah.
radicals are really lightweight, and they have a motorbike engine in them, so they're super fast, but they don't feel fast, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
They look fast, they sound fast, but when you put like digits on it and like the horsepower and all, it doesn't really seem that fast. But
Hmm.
considering the weight of them, they're quick.
So you talked a wee bit about like training. What do you have a specific training pattern that you keep to either physically or mentally?
I go to the gym 3 times a week. If I can, I try go 4 times, but it's mostly 3 times. You know, obviously I get my walks in and everything like that. My nutrition, it's mostly home cooked meals. I don't really get takeaways that much. Um, it's if I'm having a really bad day though, trust me, I will have a spice bag. But
I've never had a spice bag before.
you need to come up to Dublin and I'll show you the
Okay,
best.
I'm on my way.
We'll go around in the pink 86.
Please. We'll talk a wee bit about that as well.
But yeah, it's just generally just I work a full-time job. So it does get hard to schedule everything as I would like to do it, but I tend to just journal to keep my mindset in place. Um, Gym 3 times a week. Outside of that, it's just whatever I can fit in it.
It's amazing how much it takes
Hmm.
to be a racing driver. I don't think people realize it's like it's not just going around a track. Like you have to think about yourself both physically and mentally and make sure that you're fit for the track as well.
Yeah. It can get hard, because obviously as a racing driver, that's up and coming, if you want to call it that, you're doing everything by yourself. So all your emails, all your fitness, all your nutrition, it does take a toll on you. And there's been plenty of times my mom has caught me falling asleep with an email half typed up on my phone. And she's like, "Kind of just go to sleep. You're in work in the morning." I was like, "I know, but I need to finish this email." She's like, "You're not going to send it now anyway. Just put your phone down, concentrate on it tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, you have a point." So, at the moment, I've got things a bit more under control,
Hmm.
but it still does be a struggle sometimes.
What's one thing that people don't realize about what it takes to be a racing driver?
Your social life doesn't really exist anymore. I'm always traveling to the UK or going to the gym, or because I have a full-time job, I can't just focus on racing. I have to do two jobs at the same time that have nothing to do with each other. So oftentimes my friends are like, "Oh, you coming out?" And I was like, "I'd love to, but I have to go to the gym." And they're like, "Oh, well, what about after the gym?" And I'm like, "I might be tired after the gym. I'm not gonna lie to you." And they're like, "Oh, okay, maybe another day." So I go to car shows and stuff, and I try implement that in with the racing, because obviously then I get to talk to people and I get to network. So I make it work, whether I like it or not, I make it work. But it does get tough to find time to meet up with my friends. Like, my best friend lives around the corner, and sometimes I'm like, "Look, do you just want to come over for 10 minutes, have a cup of tea and a chat? That's all I can handle." She's like, "Yeah, I'll be over now." So it's you find a way to make everything work if you really want to.
Yeah, especially whenever it's your passion, which it
Exactly.
so clearly is.
I speak from the heart.
Exactly. Do you have any like pre-race rituals? This is one question I love asking because I love seeing how different everyone is.
Not really. I just try calm myself down. Like, I
Mhm.
know I'm if I'm really bad with anxiety that day, good luck. But I try just ground myself, and I'm
Mhm.
just kind of like talking to myself. You know what you're doing. You've done this before. You're all right. And I'm just kind of chilling out, and then probably singing a song in my head, but not like a song that's popular on the radio. It's probably just made up random words in there to a random tune, but just kind of grounding myself right before, so I can just be in the zone. So when the lights go out and it's off you go, I'm just me in the car. That's it. Nothing else exists.
It's one of those things that like you just want to experience. I could probably never do it, but just you talking about it, you're making it sound so unreal.
It is unreal, and you need to try it. You need to book a track day.
I know. I really want to. Maybe I'll do that. Well,
Do
I'll
it,
do
do
it.
it, do it, do it, do it.
Okay, I'm convinced.
I'm the voice at the back of your head that just says, "Do it."
We'll do it. I know you do.
Yay!
I think that was the biggest reaction ever. I love it. So, uh, we had talked a wee bit about like off camera. Obviously, you and I both met down at Mondello Park for their International Women's Day event. You do so much for women in motorsport, and you really do pave the way. So, I'm wondering, from your point of view, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions most people have about women in motorsport?
I think it stems from the original, like, women can't drive joke that was around for years. They just assume women can't drive, so therefore they can't be out on the track. They so can, and that there's so many women in motorsport, even just recently enough, that are really making moves in motorsport that prove those biases and misconceptions are so outdated and so wrong. There's too many to name at this point, because it's just they're paving the way. They're fighting for their spot at the table. And if the lads are saying, "Look, you don't need to sit here," they're making their own table, and they're like, "No, we deserve to be here just as much as you do." So it's painful to think about that we have to fight 10 times harder to make our way there, but we work 10 times harder, in the sense of we really want it, and we're not letting anybody throw us off, or distract us from what we really want. And I think that passion is just, it's what really puts women in motorsport out there. And I'm so proud of all the wonderful ladies that have done so well for motorsport in Ireland and abroad. Like, it's just so encouraging to see so many women in motorsport compared to when I was growing up. I barely knew anything about women being in motorsport, and now it's like I'm finding new names and I'm like, yes, there's another one, and it's amazing. And I just the next generation have a lot of role models to look up to.
Honestly, preach it. I could not have said it any better than you. That was amazing. I'll give you that. That was so good. So speaking about next generations, this might be a difficult question to answer, but how do you see the future of women's racing evolving in the next kind of 5, 10 years?
I can see a lot more girls getting involved on the grid. Not necessarily, selective cups where it's just women, but I can see the merger being a lot bigger. Like I know when I was in Fiestas, I think there was only 4 girls on the grid out of 32. So I can 100% within the next couple of years, I can see a lot more girls on that grid, and it'll maybe not 50-50, but pretty close. Um,
Mhm.
and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the amount of girls on the grid then. But I've noticed that the support is coming from the lads as well. So I'd say women in motorsport is going to be huge, huge.
Mhm. Do you feel that the industry is becoming more inclusive, or do you think there's still a long way to go?
It's half and half. Some parts of the industry are really inclusive and they really want to get the girls involved, and they want that equality between the girls and the boys on the grid. But I still feel like there's some industries that are just not quite there yet. And it's like they have maybe an internal bias on why. I can't exactly figure it out, but again, I could be biased because I am a girl. But it's just a matter of there's a few tweaks that need to be made in certain industries for equality. And it's even like girls in the motor trade. There's so many girls I know that are mechanics or engineers or and they're doing amazing, but they still have that kind of banter in the garage that's like lads banter. But I think it's just one of
Always.
those things that can take a while.
Yeah, I think it will take a while, especially for that kind of typical lads banter,
Yeah.
which it's just so like outdated.
It's
Just
very
like
sexist.
yeah, lads banter,
Mm.
quotation marks. But obviously, you had said that your dad was a mechanic and you were out with him. So you've always loved cars.
Always. As far as I can remember, cars and horses.
Girl, are you me? Like what? Love that. I didn't know you liked horses.
Yeah, I mean, it turned into horsepower as I grew up. Yeah, my granddad used to have horses on the farm, so every time I'd go over, I'd be like, I want to go on the horse, I want to go on the horse. And then
Did you get a horse?
I have a picture of me. I think I was only like 2 or 3 years old, and my nana and granddad are on one side of the horse, and I'm just at the top.
Aw, so cute.
So definitely horsepower, horses and cars, best
Hmm.
thing ever.
Yes, that's you to a T. I love it. So, what started off as your favorite car?
Oh, let me see. This is a long time thinking back now. I always loved the coupes. I don't know why. Um, hmm, I know when I was growing up, our car was a 1999 Ford Mondeo, and I always said that was going to be my very first car. Didn't end up being my first car, far from it. But
I'm not really surprised, but
poor thing had to get sold, and I was like, no, my car. But I don't know, just the coupe shapes just had my heart. And then with different video games, it was always what ones I could make look the best or what ones kind of I felt the mood for that day. But I think just Toyotas and coupes had my heart from the get go. I don't know what it is, I can't explain it, but yeah, pretty sure.
what was your first car?
My first car was a shared car with my mum, and it was an Opel Corsa. And then the first car that I wasn't sharing with anybody was a Peugeot 207cc. It
Lovely.
was a nice wine colour.
Mm, like that. Now you do have a Toyota.
Yep, I
You
got
got
my
your,
dream car.
and I mean, she is an absolute beauty.
Thank you.
Like,
Yes.
I love that car.
I love the car
Talk,
too.
yeah. Talk me through your build because just for anyone that doesn't know.
So I bought the car 3 years ago now. She was pearl white when I bought her. She's not pearl white anymore. um, when I bought it, I got it imported from Japan. So I was told it's the GT86 Aero Edition because the body kit on it is factory. She's lowered on coilovers and she's wrapped. There is an intake on it, a G-Ready intake. Haven't done anything to it though. Like, other than your maintenance and the wrap, nothing done to her. So,
Still, that wrap just it just sets it off.
something
Like it's so nice and it's so different.
Yeah, I got the wrap imported from the USA because I couldn't find that color with any other company. I was like, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna pay the customs. I'm gonna get over it, and I'm gonna get the car in that color." So it's blush diamond pink with gold reflects in it, as far as I remember. And
Unreal.
the company I got the wrap from actually have a picture of my car on their website to show the color.
That's how you know that it's flex. It is a flex whenever the company put it up.
But she's beautiful in the sunlight. It's just the gold reflects in it. I just
Mhm.
I couldn't pick a different color. I couldn't go with plain pink. I was like, it's too plain. This one has probably not enough sparkle for my personality, but it has enough for the car, and then the gold kind of makes it work.
Yeah, I agree with that. But how long do you think you'll stick with that car? You gonna get a different car after, or are you still sticking with it?
See, the way I have it in my head is I'm never getting rid of that car. I might get another car, but that one's
Mhm.
not going anywhere. I
Yeah,
just love it way too much. Like, even on the days where I'm like, oh, maybe it's time for something new, and then I look at it and I go for a drive and I'm like, no, I can't.
you
Just
can't
can't.
stop. It's so funny though. It's like some people don't kind of understand the connection that you have with your car, and you're trying to explain it to them, and they're just looking at you like you're a maniac, and it's just like you just don't understand. Okay.
Exactly. Like, people are like, oh, you're having a bad day. And I'm like, yeah, I just need to go for a drive. And they're like, what you mean? I was like, the car gets me, okay? It lets me
Yeah.
play music and it listens to me on the road. And it's like, I get out of the car, I'm like, oh, what bad day? I didn't have a bad day. I went for a drive.
Exactly. It never talks back.
Exactly. There's no attitude from it.
None whatsoever. Although I drove home from work today and I got into the driveway and my car is now sitting on 99,999 miles. It's just I am waiting for the morning because it's going to turn to 100,000 and it's going to break my heart.
But at least you got an angel number out of it.
Well, that's true. I mean, maybe I should have like made a wish or something. I wish
What?
it
I
don't
got my
turn.
car with 149,000 kilometers on it. It's on 203 now.
Oh,
Thousand.
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's impressive.
Driving
I
to the UK, driving to car shows, daily driving for the first 2.5 years. It's
Yeah, you need a new car. You need no another car. You need another car.
I need a daily for my daily
Yeah,
or a project for my
exactly.
project. Well, I haven't decided yet.
I'm still waiting for my project car. I don't think I'll get there in another few years yet, but I will eventually.
Manifest it.
Manifesting it. The angel numbers are coming through.
I'm telling you, there's a reason.
Fingers crossed. But anyway, back to you. Well, I suppose. Well, my next question was, well, what kind of keeps you motivated? But I suppose your car kind of does have that as well. Cars, horses, horsepower.
I mean, proof is in the pudding. Like, what keeps me motivated is every day I wake up and I'm like, if this is my dream for a reason, that there's a reason this has such a prominent place in my heart and my brain, and I need to figure out a way to make it work and make this a reality because I've thought about it and I was like, is there anything else that I love that much? And I've sat and I've thought and I thought and I was like, nope, nothing, absolutely nothing doesn't stick with me like that. So it's just the love of the cars and the motorsport and the feeling when you sit in the car on the track and it's you, the car and the track and the engine noises. there's just nothing I can do to replace the feeling I have when I'm there with my helmet on. There, nothing even comes close. So it's one of those things where if I don't fight to make it a reality, what am I really doing?
I love that. It's so refreshing to just hear you talk about it because you can tell how passionate you are. And I think it's definitely fair to say that you are one of the women that are paving the way for others because you have your dream and you're not giving up on it. And I think like that's so important for other young girls to come along and see that and think, you know what, yeah, she's doing that and nothing's stopping her. You're only
Yeah,
going up.
thank you. You're gonna make me blush now in a minute, but it's I think that's something I got from my mom. My mom's always said, if you really want something, you have to work hard for it because nothing easy is worth it. So,
Hmm.
if you give your blood, sweat, and tears to something, make sure it's the right thing that you're giving it to. So, my mom kind of gave me that determination of if I really want something, I have to prove I want it and work to get it. And that's just what I've been doing the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, everything, it does come with hard work. And I think it's especially hard work that people don't see.
Yeah,
Like people
there's
think
so
that
much behind
sometimes,
the scenes. Oh my God.
yeah, people think that you just get it handed to you, and it's really not that. I mean, you're doing probably so much more than anyone else sees behind the scenes.
Like when we were doing the fiestas, it was just me and my dad working on the car. So between actually showing up to Mondello and driving that day and me and dad kind of going, right, the tire pressure, right, the engine, right, this, right, that, we were going back to the garage and trying to figure out problems we might not have been able to figure out that day or if it wasn't driving right. And then alongside that, working on other cars that we need to get done or maintenance on my car or his car, like, and a full time job and trying to keep up with social media. And it was just, there was so much going on that nobody could see. And they're like, oh, you're never out anymore. Oh, this. And I'm like, you don't get it though. Like, if I want to get my 8 hours of sleep, there's a lot of sacrifices I have to make. And to make something like when you love something that much that you want it to happen, you'll sacrifice almost anything. So
Hmm.
there were plenty of times where everyone else was going out for the weekend, and I was like, oh, Saturday morning, get up bright and early, go and help dad at the garage, and then come home maybe 12 o'clock in the evening. And mom's like, where were you? Where do you think? So it's just kind of like, it's one of those things like you come home, you have a shower, you go straight to sleep, and then up ready to go the next day. But it's all worth it in the end. Like I'm looking back now, and I have it a bit more sorted out. But looking back, I was like, how the hell did I still get sleep? How did I make 24 hours stretch that much that I could fit everything into it? And now
Yeah.
I struggle to still fit some stuff in, but it's just you prioritize things differently when it comes to motorsport.
Yeah, it's just all about maneuvering it and trying to make it work because that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to other young girls that want to kind of follow in your footsteps?
Just do it. Just ask the question. Just it doesn't matter if it's on Instagram, if it's a racing team that you've seen in Mondello, just go up to the first person you see and ask them the question because I guarantee you they'll all just love to have you into motorsport because the community in motorsport is so welcoming and it's so lovely and everybody's so kind and helpful that it's literally like, you want to join motorsport? Sit in the car. Come on, let's go. Literally all it is. So you need to say is, love motorsport. How do I get involved? And I can guarantee you anybody you speak to will only be delighted to have you join. Just beware,
Hmm.
it's addictive. That's the only thing I'll say.
Oh,
It's addictive and it's
yeah.
expensive.
Yes, yes, I've heard the expenses.
Yeah.
But I guess what we'll end on is what's next for you.
Keep putting one foot in front of the other and then hoping I end up at a racetrack, really. Because at the moment I'm going have training in August and I have a race in September. Depending on how that race goes in September, I might have a few more things in the pipeline. So now it's just, sponsorship scouting and training and then we'll take it from there.
Amazing. Do you want to give out your socials for anyone to follow you?
If anybody wants to follow me on any social media platform, it's Hanna Celsie. And if you Google me, I think they all come up as well. So if for anybody that wants to have a nose or wants to drop a follow and watch my journey, that's where you'll find me.
Fantastic, Hannah. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
me